Field service software is an absolute must for service businesses. It'll help you grow by keeping you organized, efficient, and looking professional. But if you're new to this kind of software or looking to make a change on your current software, then it can be difficult to know which one is best for you. There's a lot of options out there, but today we're going to be comparing the top 4 performers in this space so that you can get a better sense of which one will suit your needs. If you haven't seen my other video on which of the 4 I currently use, I'll be sharing that at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around to the end. All right, before we dive into the comparison, I want to share with you some of the criteria I used in choosing these pieces of software. Apart from this software being among the top search results when you type in field service software into Google, some of the other things that I looked at were the amount of users, the positive reviews, and the breadth of features. I only chose apps that have a decent mobile app to accompany the desktop version. I only chose software that has a free trial so that you can check it out for yourself. And finally, I chose software that has multiple pricing tiers, indicating that there's more features that you can pay for as your business grows. I'm gonna take you on the tours of the desktop versions, then we'll look at the mobile apps, and finally, I'll take you through the different pricing tiers of each piece of software. All right, first up on our list is Jobber. All right, so this is the Jobber desktop version, and I'm just gonna briefly take you through some of the features that I think really make this software great and some of the things that I think are missing from it. So right off the bat, you can see it's got a pretty clean interface, and there's a create button, more actions button, and a few buttons down here. So as soon as you log in, you can kind of jump right into it and do what you need to do. But we're gonna first head over to settings, and we're gonna scroll down to the client communications tab and go to Client Hub. And this is a really nice feature. Basically what it is kind of a central dashboard for your clients. You just give them this personalized link, and at any time of day that they can go in and check the status of invoices or estimates, check on payment, get receipts, request changes, things like that. And I think that's really helpful. Over the years, I've had clients asked to send estimates and receipts again. So just kind of eliminating that and giving them access to all of their information is really helpful. And another thing that Jobber does really well is it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of client communication. So, for emails, you can toggle on or off all these different, follow-ups, confirmations. And I think that's really helpful too. And going over to this clients tab, we'll click into a client here, edit, and all these notifications can be toggled on and off for a client by client basis. And again, I just think that is really helpful, keeps customers in the loop, knowing kind of how they're engaging with your service. So moving on, we're going to go over to this requests tab. This is another great feature. This basically keeps track of all your leads. And of course, you can add a booking button to your website, which I highly recommend. So anytime a potential lead books with your website, they'll show up here, and then you can just manage them in a centralized location. And let's go back over to settings. Just want to show you another thing here. Kind of from a team standpoint, if you have a few employees, this route optimization feature is handy. And this basically just helps you plan out your day. And if you get a new job booked, you can kind of see who's out in the field, see who's closest to that client, and have them, if they have time, go over, do the job, and get paid. So that just helps you be more efficient out in the field. Now, some of the things that I don't really like with Jobber, let's head over to schedule, and we'll create a new job. Now, doesn't give you the option to have an arrival window for jobs. There's only a fixed time. And I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. I don't know if they plan to do that, but I think that's really important. If you have a few jobs scheduled for the day, you want to set your customers' expectations. So, you're not sure when you're going to finish up. So setting an arrival window just sets those customer expectations a little better, and you don't promise a certain time and then you show up late. Another thing, going back to the requests, which I've seen other pieces of software do that Jobber does not, is we'll click into the form here. So this is the request form template. This is what your clients would see on your website. It's pretty customizable, which is nice, but there's no real way to add your real-time availability for the week. And I think that's pretty important. If you want to limit the amount of back and forth, having a form that shows your real-time availability, so clients can just click on a specific time and day that works for them, and then boom, that automatically gets put on your schedule. So you don't have to reach out to them and kind of have some back and forth deciding when to schedule it, which is what you'd have to do with this form. This is just a request. They submit it, then you'd have to reach out to kind of hone in on a day and time. So that's about it for Jobber. Let's move on to the next piece of software. All right, so this is the Workiz desktop version. Right off the bat, you can see this is pretty clean as well. And this is the main dashboard. You can see a bunch of your reports, so you can really dig into your company's data. But I want to mention, comparing this to Jobber, like I said, with Jobber's booking form, clients can't book your real-time availability, but you can do that in Workiz. So I'll just show you that real quick. So this is the booking form, and this also has a lot of customizability. But if we go to availability, you can set it based upon text availability. So I take that to mean that this will connect with your schedule and see your existing jobs for the week, so that clients can't book over that. And again, this is just a helpful feature and reduces the amount of back and forth you have with clients requesting a service. So you'll get a notification when someone books in your availability. You can do the job and get paid. All right, moving on. Workiz has a really robust call and messaging center. And what's nice is that you can port over your existing, if you have an existing business phone number, or you can use the number that Workiz provides you. But what's nice is that if a new client or an existing client calls your Workiz number, you can book a job or create a new lead directly from the call. So say an existing client or lead calls your Workiz number. What you do is, on your phone, you just open the Workiz app, and then you click this tab at the top, and you'll be presented with some options. You just click this plus button, and then right from the call, you can add either new job or a lead. And then, of course, you can see your call history within the app as well, which I think is a really nice feature from a workflow standpoint. Now, let me take you to the messaging center. And of course, you'll be able to see this text thread on your phone as well. But down here, again, you can add a job or a lead right from the text message. And I think that's really helpful. Just kind of maximizes your workflow, makes things a little bit more efficient. All right, I'm going to take you to their automation center. And this is the Workiz Automation Center. This is really nice to have, if you need to send follow-ups or marketing promotional emails, reminders for your team or yourself. And you can set reminders for service plans as well, which I'll get into in a second. But this is nice to have. This is essentially like a personal assistant, so that you don't have to send out all these reminders and follow-ups on your own time. You can have this done automatically. All right, and I want to show you this service plans feature. This is a premium feature, but I think it's worth noting. Essentially, if you have clients who hire you for a repeat service frequently throughout the year, you can create a service plan. And say if you need to put up or take down a Christmas tree every year, or service someone's garage door, you can create a service plan, and you can set the duration for the period of it, how many times a year, how many times a month, number of visits within a service period, and you can set up your payment information. You can create auto recurring payments so that every time, whenever you finish the job, you leave, you get paid right away. A customer will get sent the invoice. So that's really nice to have. Now, a couple things that I noticed that I wish Workiz had is, again, just like Jobber, it doesn't have arrival windows. So when you're scheduling a job, you can't say, I'll be there between 9 and 11. And then you can't also, if we go into clients, you can't edit in bulk client information like tags or referral sources, things like that. And especially if you have a large client base, it would be nice to kind of filter and have some more options for filtering and editing in bulk as well. And then the last thing I noticed for estimates is that there's no real way to take notes internally. There's a field for public notes that the client will see when you send them the estimate, but if you need to do your own calculations and list materials and things like that, there's no real way to take notes internally. So I hope there eventually is a field for that to make things a little bit easier when you're estimating, instead of having to, say, take notes on a piece of paper or on an external digital note-taking software. Having the notes internally that you can reference back to is really helpful. So that's about it for Workiz. Let's move on to the next piece of software. All right, so this is the Markate desktop version. And as you can see, it's pretty visual, pretty colorful with these reports here. But I want to take you over to the Marketing Center. Now, Markate has the best kind of marketing center I've seen between all these pieces of software. You can really do so much. You can send out postcards, either a one-time blast or send out a recurring postcard to your customers. You can do the same thing with email. If you're having any deals, you can send out a promotional blast, as well as the same thing with text and even voicemail. So if your business is a little slow, you can blast out either an email, text, or postcard, or all of them, and hopefully that'll attract you some more work. But moving on, I want to take you to the business profile. And this is essentially an in-house business listing where you can update your services, credentials, any deals that you have going on. You can showcase photos of your work and reviews. And what you're essentially doing is piggybacking off of Markate's online authority to market your business. And that's great from an SEO standpoint. You want to have multiple business listings so that your business gets indexed across multiple sites. And you also get your own URL that you can shop around to your clients, and they can send it to their friends and family so that they can see quick hits about your business versus having to visit your website. All right, I think another thing that Markate does really well is they have a lot of project management tools for you. So if we go over to work orders, so they call jobs work orders, and we'll create a new work order. And what you can do is you can create custom checklists and then assign those to specific work orders. So if you have a job with a lot of steps, you can assign a checklist to it. And then when you're on the job, it saves a lot of headache because you can just work off of the checklist instead of being scatterbrained thinking about what you have to do next. And then also within the work order window, you can assign a priority, standard, low, or urgent priority. And then you can filter by priority. And I think that's really helpful in terms of keeping your clients happy and knowing what needs to be done next. All right, moving on. Markate offers a lot of online payment options. So I've had a lot of clients over the years ask me for different payment options if I take Venmo or WePay, things like that. And just having that flexibility to be able to offer different payment methods so that your clients feel comfortable, I think can potentially lead to increased sales and more business. All right, and then just want to quickly take you to the membership section here. Markate has a relatively low monthly cost, and as your business grows, you can add on different services. So, you can add anything from online booking, lead contact form, you can have a customer portal, you can add a review management system, and even this virtual video estimate is unique. So it's really tailored to how you need it. So you can start off at a low price point and increase it as your business grows. So that's about it for Markate. Let's move on to our last piece of software. All right, so this is the Housecall Pro desktop version. We're starting off on the dash here. Again, there's a bunch of reports that you can drill down into your business information, and they have a lot of custom reports that you can create to really analyze the information that you need. So next I want to go over to the customers tab. All right, so on the customers dashboard here, as I mentioned with some of the other pieces of software, you weren't able to filter your clients or bulk edit them. And you can definitely do that here. And I think that's really important. And you can edit them based on lead source, tag, or if you need to merge customers, if you have duplicates. You can also filter by lead source or by customer tag. So I think that's a really important feature for client management. I also wanted to mention with Housecall Pro, compared to some of the other pieces of software, that this is actually the only one out of the 4 that you can use arrival windows. In addition, much like Workiz, you can set your online booking to link up to your actual schedule, and that way it'll recognize what days you have jobs booked so that clients booking on your website can't double book over those times. All right, so now I want to take you to the price book, and this feature really sets this software apart. So you can add all of your items, all of your services and materials. Much like the others, you can upload them if you don't have them in here already. If you don't create them in here already, you can add pictures. But what's really nice is this service price adjuster. So you can kind of bulk edit your services all at once. And the same thing goes for material markups. So year over year, if you need to increase your prices, you can come to this section and increase all of your prices at once. And the same thing goes for these material markups as well. So with this review management feature, you can send reviews to your website, Google profile, or your Facebook business page, and you can actually set percentages for each. So that's really nice. If you favor, say, Facebook, you can send, say, 75% of your reviews there, and then the remaining 25% split between Google and your website, or however you want to do it. But I think that's a really great way to drive reviews to specific platforms. Once you finish a job, the client is sent a review link so that they can review you, and then your reviews will be sent accordingly to the percentages in their respective platforms. One thing I wish Housecall Pro had was kind of a more robust email automation center. It's pretty basic. You can send automations before a job starts or after a job completes. Housecall Pro also doesn't have a client portal, and that would be nice to have to offer customers. So that's about it for Housecall Pro. Let's move on to the mobile apps. All right, so this is the Jobber mobile app. And right off the bat, you can see you've got your settings here. So you can click in, look at your profile, you can edit your company details, you can toggle on and off some various notifications, you can look at your subscription and do a couple other things. And right off the bat, there's 3 ways to schedule a job. You can click into this field right here. You can go to the schedule and just click on the day, or you can click this little plus button and you'll be presented with a bunch of different options. So it's pretty easy to get going right off the bat. But this is what the schedule looks like. And you can take it to today. You can filter by list 3-day week view. You can hide weekends, and then you can show various team members. And this is just your tracked time. This is pretty handy, this search feature. You can search by clients, requests, quotes, find anything that you have going on. And again, this little plus button. But let's go click into a job that I created. So this is what the job screen looks like. It shows you the date and time, as well as a few additional details. You can write some notes, and you can add line items. And then once you're on the job, you can start your timer, you can clock in, and then once you're finished, you complete the visit. And then this is for your little navigation. It'll take you to your navigation app. And then up here, based upon the plan that you're on, you can send on the way text messages. In this case, we can just call the client. And then also, if you look at a visit, you can send a booking confirmation so that they know on their end that you have the job in your system and you're ready to go. So that's about it for Jobber. Let's move on to Workiz. All right, so this is the Workiz mobile app. And just like Jobber on the left, you can toggle to a bunch of different areas within the app: your jobs, leads, invoices, estimates, and then any settings. You can't quite update your company information, stuff like that. You'd have to leave for the desktop, but you can access your timesheets, and if you need to add a lead. But you can create a job, and you have this little plus button again to do all your various tasks, and you have the search icon up here at the top, your schedule. Now I kind of like the way that this is laid out, and the way that Workiz handles its jobs is that it kind of breaks it down into submitted, in progress, canceled, done, pending, and done pending approval. So on your schedule, you can kind of filter down and see which jobs are in progress, canceled, done, pending. So that, from an organization standpoint, that's pretty helpful. And then you can click these 3 dots and you can call the client, message them, you can navigate to the job, or if you need to reschedule. That's pretty handy. And again, just looking at the Workiz desktop version, it kind of follows suit on the app here, that they prioritize communication, and I like that a lot. So we'll just click into the job screen here, and you can start your job, you can send your on the way text, and this is nice. You can customize this and edit it to the way you need to. You can let them know if you're late, and then it has these auto-populated amounts of time if you're running late, which is nice. Add any notes, attachments, and here's all your client information, the schedule, job tags, which is helpful. I use that a lot. And it's nice to be able to have a message tab at the bottom here, so you can keep track of who's texting you and actually see in real time that on the way text to make sure that it went through. Then you have your calls down here, and you can easily access. In Jobber, it looks like you had to search for clients. It didn't have its own client tab, so I like being able to access that. So that's about it for Workiz. Let's move on to Markate. All right, so this is the Markate mobile app, and right off the bat, this app for me leaves something to be desired. It's a little clunky. It almost feels like they tried to pack too much information into the app, whereas some things should have been left specifically just for the desktop. You know, you got your dashboard, so you can see some reports, and again, like this, I feel like this should have been left for the desktop version. But let's click into a work order, So this is what the work order window looks like, and you can do a whole bunch of stuff. If you're on your way, you can send a confirmation text to your client, and this is nice to be able to send how long before you'll get there. So they'll get that notification, and then of course once you're on the job you can start. Pause, which is a big feature, and Housecall Pro has this as well. I didn't see this with Workiz or Jobber, but if you need to like pause the job to go pick up material, or if you're going to take a break, that's helpful. Then of course to complete the job, and it looks like here you've got your navigation, and you can edit various details. You can add your line items, update any services, but you can just kind of see here, I'm struggling a little bit with the user experience. It's not that clean looking, and there's just frankly too many options here, I think. But you can do all the basics. You can even print this work order and then go back to your home screen. You can look at your schedule, and you can even check the weather. You can access your customers, so you can add all the pertinent information. You can also update in real time their notifications by email or text. That's about it for Markate. Let's move on to Housecall Pro. All right, so this is the Housecall Pro mobile app, and right off the bat you can see it's pretty clean looking. You can create an invoice, job, estimate down here, and it'll show you your total for estimates, how many jobs you have, and the total amount of money you've made. You can also click the plus button up here and do what you need to do. Up here, you've got your tasks, which is nice. And then here you have your timesheet. You can clock in and see your time card for the week. Now, down here, you've got your schedule, and it's pretty basic. Down here, you've got your messages, so you can see all the communication with your clients, as well as see the on-the-way texts that get sent to them. And then here is your clients tab. And then if we go here to settings, you can access your pricing book, which is kind of their big selling feature, at least on their essentials plan for Housecall Pro, and you can add all your services, and there's a lot of functionality there. So that's helpful when you're building an estimate in the field, to kind of add those line items and add new ones if you need to. And then you can set up your company. And what's cool about Housecall Pro too is they help you with networking and linking with other professionals in the industry. So connect with people and kind of just network. You can connect to your QuickBooks. And then one of the big things that's great with Housecall Pro too is they have really good support feature. So you can chat with them in this help center, or you can give them a call. So I'm currently in a customer profile, and I just want to walk you through creating a job here. So we'll click that, schedule it. You have these arrival windows. So you can set an arrival window up to 4 hours and as soon as 15 minutes. And again, that just provides a lot more flexibility. And then once you do that, you have the option to notify the customer as soon as you schedule the job. So they get the notification on their end that you've scheduled it in your system. Go ahead, click save. And this is kind of the job dashboard. This is what this looks like. Now I think Housecall Pro has the best job setup here. You can add your job tags, job fields, you can add your private notes and your line items. Up top, you can send an invoice, you can take payment directly after a job is done, and you can convert jobs to estimates, as well as, this is a key feature I think if you have a job that goes on for multiple days, is that you can add a segment. So we'll call it day 2. And you can rename the first day. So this way you can keep track of multi-day jobs within the same kind of window here. And then once you're ready to head out to a job, you just click on my way and the client will automatically get a text. And then down here you can communicate with them. You can open up your navigation. And what's nice too, when you click on my way, it'll track your time on the way to the job. So that gets factored into your timesheet as well. What's also nice in Housecall Pro is that the customer's address links up with Google. So you can see a street view of their home, which is really helpful if you've never been to this client's house before. So you can kind of take a mental picture of what their house looks like, so that as you're rolling up, you don't have to look for numbers, and it just kind of streamlines the process a little bit. All right, so that about wraps it up for the mobile app reviews. Now I want to take you through and show you the different pricing plans for each piece of software. All right, so let's dig into the pricing a little bit for Jobber. These are the 4 plans. Right now I'm toggled onto the annual payment subscription, and we can look at the monthly here. But let's kind of dig into what each tier offers. So right off the bat, you can see that the light plan, even though it's cheaper, it doesn't offer scheduling and job management, which is just kind of a critical piece that you'd want. So in my mind, that would be off the list right away. But these other things, routing, GPS tracking, these are kind of secondary. But if you can't schedule jobs and manage jobs within the software, then there's really no point. Let's go down to customer management. All these plans, you can access the client hub and you can keep a CRM. It would be nice if the Lite or the Core plan offered online booking, and I think that's kind of a critical feature to streamline your requests. But these are kind of secondary: two-way text messaging, lead management. So with the Lite or the Core plan, you could get away for this section with just the CRM and the client hub. It's good. All plans allow you to quote as well as invoice and send payments. Even on the Lite plan, you can get instant payouts, which is cool. This section is kind of secondary. I'm surprised even on the Connect plan you can't send email and postcard marketing materials, but I think you could get away with the lower tiered plans with these features not included. And then some additional features. It's nice that you get one-on-one product support across all of your tiers, and of course you get the mobile app, and then these custom reports and fields make sense that they're on the higher plans. But with the Core plan, you get the reporting, and that's helpful to have to kind of dig into your own business numbers and see what needs improvement. Workiz is the only piece of software out of the 4 that offers a free plan. So if you want to just jump in for free and kind of figure out what features work best for you, Workiz might be that option. But then it jumps up pretty heftily to $225, and I think that's pretty steep. But if we look at the free version, you get 30. The magic number is 30 for jobs, invoices, estimates, and it might be difficult in the busy season to stay within that limit, but I think you could make that work if you were kind of strategic. But you don't want to be in the midst of the busy season and then your plan gets cut off once you reach the 30 limit for the month. So that might be an issue, but you do get a lot of features on the Lite plan. There's no way to take payments with the Lite plan. You'd have to bump up to standard. That's not a deal breaker. Some people like to pay online, but I find that you can get away with most clients just paying cash or check. And even in today's day and age, people still expect to pay handyman contractors with checks or cash. It's nice that on the light plan you get access to online booking, but it looks like you can't manage a CRM on the light plan. I'm not entirely sure about that, if that's what the customer account management means. And that would be a critical component. And then for workflow, these are kind of secondary. You could get away on the light plan without these, but they would be nice to have. Alright, so Markate has 2 pricing tiers. The basic package is $35.95 per month. Annually. Per month it's $39.95. But Markate might have the best kind of out of the gate basic option to do everything that you need to do. So you can do, custom estimates, invoices, work orders, take payments online, get all your job notifications and reminders, track expenses, handle your marketing emails. You can integrate with Google Calendar, manage your leads. So that's pretty good for a basic package that is relatively cheap compared to the others. And then, as I mentioned, you can add on services a la carte, whether that's an online booking form or a whole host of other features. And I think they're all at around $10 a month. You can ask for reviews. As your business grows, you can just choose which features to add on. So if you're looking at something out of the gate that gives you everything you need in a relatively low monthly payment, Markate might be that option. All right, so Housecall Pro is similarly priced to Jobber. Their middle tier plans are both $129, and as you can see, compared to Workiz, the Workiz middle tier plan is $225. So, and I think that Housecall Pro and Jobber give you more features on that middle tier plan. But again, the Workiz light plan is free, so it's kind of give and take here. But jumping into these numbers, this is billed annually, or this is how it is monthly. You get a lot with the $49 per month. The things that you don't get are the visual price book and the ability to set where your reviews go between Facebook, Google, or your website. And then you can't do email marketing or postcard marketing on the basic plan, so that's something to note. If you're interested in checking out any of these pieces of software, I'll leave links in the description so you can do that. As mentioned at the start of the video, I want to share with you the app that I've been using for the past 9 months, and that's Housecall Pro. I really like Housecall Pro because of the pricing book and the ability to set arrival windows. Be sure to check out my other video on the 5 apps I used when first starting my handyman business. So until next time, take care and be well.